I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And today we're going to be talking about an X is an X for a reason. Oh, what insightful person said that. When I see those comments, I always roll my eyes. I'm like, come on. How, it's not saying anything significant or meaningful to say something happened for a reason, okay? A bird fell out of a tree for a reason. You know what I mean? The snake crossed the road for a reason. I mean, but to say that a meaningful connection ended for a reason, you know, like it's this mystical thing that happened. It's like, yeah, but what? It's not just one reason that a relationship ends. I mean, there's a lot to it because we're talking about two people that have their own set of needs, values, ideas on a connection or a relationship. And sometimes it falls apart. That connection falls apart. But it doesn't mean that it can't be repaired. You know, it takes effort to make two people get along for a consistently, consistent amount of time, a long time. If you're together for 4 years, it's not easy to make that relationship strong for 4 years. Where there are things that happen in our lives, stressful things. You lose a job, you lose a family member. You start to question whether or not the person can meet your needs. There's so many different things that comes up for why a relationship doesn't work out. It's not as simple as it ended for a reason.
And if I had to finish that statement, it probably would say an X is an X for a reason, and it would happen again and again and again. This is what I take when I hear that phrase. You know, to me it's saying there's a reason why things ended, and if you do try again, that same thing is going to happen again. And this to me implies that change isn't possible. You know, the whole point in our channel is really to talk about personal growth, is to talk about attachment styles, attachment theory, being able to make actionable changes in the way you relate to others.
And all of those things will help you in your relationships with your ex or someone new.
Right. And just like a family is a system, you know, whenever you do work on yourself, it affects everything else. So we made a video not too long ago talking about what if your partner doesn't want to go to therapy. And in that video, we encouraged you all, well, if your partner doesn't want to go, then you go. Do individual therapy. And the reason being is that sometimes when you start the change, you can pull others up with you.
That's right.
Not all of the time, okay? Sometimes it does happen that certain patterns do get repeated. We talk about that a lot in our videos too, with certain types of conditions and situations that happen. But if you are doing the work, the results will show.
That's right. And you're a lot more likely to bring the situation up to a higher level of functioning if you are consistently doing the work.
Right.
If you don't and they come back, it's likely to go back to the struggles and the issues. But that's a great point, that you're assuming that the situation can't change or won't change if the person comes back. And that's simply not true. But that kind of black and white thinking, it's like, you know, it's not healthy to think like that.
Yeah. And it also makes me wonder, well, what is the reason? You know, it really is dependent on what the reason is. We tend to think that a lot of the reasons do come down to anxiety, to attachment, things that you can work on. So that's kind of our point in making this video, is that change does matter, change does make a difference, and you working on yourself will create that change.
Absolutely. You're going to be a lot more likely to make a situation improve if you really make an effort at it. You have to invest in it. You have to invest in yourself, in healing the situation, in, putting in a real effort. And if you do that, then change is going to be a lot more likely to happen. Now, of course, it's not on just one person. It takes two people to make those changes. And you can't control what somebody else does. But that doesn't mean that they won't consider it or reevaluate making changes too for the situation.
Exactly. And the whole point of our channel too is also to repair relationships. Craig, you had a really great analogy on this about a car.
Yeah. Okay. So, here's just an example that you can think of. If you have a car and you've paid for it for 4 years, right? You've invested in it. You've tried to put maintenance in it, take care of it. You've spent a lot of money in it, which you've had to invest your time to work and to pay for it. And you have a problem with the car and it gets a flat tire. Are you just going to leave the car on the side of the road and say, well, the car's got a flat tire now. That's it. I'm done. Right? Like, that would be crazy to just walk away from something you invested so much time and effort in when you could do something to repair it. Okay? If you have a belt break on your car and it just dies on the side of the road, you have to get it towed. Are you just going to say, no, I'm not going to try and make an effort to fix it? I mean, that just to me is silly and just to give up. You should get it evaluated. Can it be repaired? How much will it cost? What's it likely to happen, or how likely is it to happen again? You know what I mean? All of those things you should consider investing in it or moving on from it.
What that analogy makes me think of is that this phrase is a form of black and white thinking. It's seeing things in extremes of all or nothing. Since we broke up once, let's just leave it behind us and move forward and not think about it anymore. When in reality, a huge part of relating with anybody, okay, with friends, with family, with even people at work, a huge part of that is getting through conflicts. And this is one of my favorite statistics because of the number, and I find it hilarious. But John Gottman, you already know what it is. John Gottman says that 69% of conflict in relationships is unsolvable. So does that mean that 69% of relationships aren't worth trying to fix or move towards? And thinking about the years and years and years of investment, like you were saying, in those relationships, the amount of connection and bonding that there is there, the amount of things that do work just for a conflict that is challenging. Not to say that there aren't certain things that that can't keep a relationship from moving on. There are certain things like compatibility issues, if one person wants kids and the other doesn't. So there can be certain situations where it is a roadblock and the best decision isn't to move forward. But a lot of the times and a lot of the situations that we see, there is some sort of compromise, or at least a good enough compromise to keep the relationship going and actually build a deeper connection.
Yeah, I agree. To me, I think probably avoidance say that an ex is an ex for a reason.
I can see it.
More than, certainly a secure person is going to be a lot less likely to say that. Or even an anxious person, because they're going to be like, I want to work at it. But avoidance, particularly dismissive avoidance, are like, well, we broke up for a reason. And you're like, what's that reason, buddy? How about you're the reason? You didn't open up. You didn't make that person feel cared about enough. But they often simplify things, right?
Yeah.
Well, it shouldn't be this hard. Well, relationships aren't easy. Okay? I know I would not want to date somebody who had that black and white mentality of, oh, it's too hard. If it's so hard, we should just end it now. Well, whoever you date, there's going to be struggles. Whoever you're in a relationship, there's going to be struggles. I don't want to be with somebody who has this mindset of, oh, well, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Well, how invested are you to have that attitude? Right? You're not really investing in a situation if you're just going to have this attitude of, yeah, when we have our issues, we'll just walk away then.
Right. And we want all of you to have discretion. Of course, we can only control what we control, and sometimes we can make great strides in our personal growth and see that our ex doesn't change or hasn't really moved past certain things. And that's okay, and at that point, then we can decide.
Yeah.
But we don't want you just to write off relationships because of having one struggle, or even if it is a really big struggle.
Yeah.
We want you to consider all options. That's really what a therapist's job is, a coach's job is to help you see the gray, to help you see all the possible options, or at least to expand your view of them.
I agree. Obviously there are outliers to a situation. And, if you're dating somebody who you truly believe is a narcissist, and man, is that term overused. Some of you dated a narcissist, but honestly, many of you are dating somebody or dated somebody who had maybe narcissistic or selfish behavior, but they wouldn't be diagnosed a narcissist. But yes, if you're dating somebody that extreme, then, you got to look at it and say, this is really unhealthy. I got to move on. But you're going to find that many things can be navigated with some patience and some empathy and some understanding. But you have to have that in you to see that. And if you're dismissing things so quickly by saying, well, that person is my ex for a reason, then you probably have an avoidant attachment style yourself. And it's because you don't really trust people. And you better look at your early attachments if you're going to heal. If you want to have a relationship with somebody in the future that's going to be meaningful, that you can really build upon.
And I get how this phrase can feel protective. If you say an ex is an ex for a reason, then it's kind of a way of not thinking about it. It's a way of avoiding the hurt and pain that comes with it, to just say, well, that happened. It's almost like it is what it is. However, I would say that the most growth happens when you do face that hurt and pain and are able to understand your pain better, and also reflect back on the relationship and really see, is this something that's worth it?
Yes, you have to figure that out for yourself. Every situation is different and every breakup is different. And all day long, I have all different types of calls from all kinds of people all around the world, and have done that for years. But when we're giving a general video, we don't know exactly what your situation was. Maybe you are in a situation where you were mistreated or abused, We don't want you to be in that kind of situation. We want you to be in something healthy or relatively healthy, or in a situation where you can make it healthy. And they can make it healthy, your ex, your partner, whoever you're dating. And if that's the case, that's something that you can work with. Right? Okay. So, hopefully this has been helpful to you, and you can really think about your mindset, and if it's, navigating from a place where you're being receptive to growth and seeing out things outside the box of black and white thinking. Okay? And if you want to get our help personally, you could do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Coach Victoria is also available for Skype coaching.
I'm also here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name on the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.